2024 continued the strong momentum of the past few years with more incredible games than any one person could ever hope to keep up with. It was the year of the RPG with a number of strong contenders and remakes, each ranging from 50 to 100 hours long. It was also the year of the Metroidvania with a diverse and gorgeous array of excellent titles, some focusing more on combat, while others delved deeper into exploration and secrets. China and Korea brought breakout hits with the likes of Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade, and likewise, some of the biggest successes of 2024 came from some of the smallest independent teams. Trying to whittle down a whole year into a selection of top nominees is never an easy task, but 2024 proved even more difficult to wrangle with excellence flying at us from every direction and every genre. It's worth reminding that these are also the games that stood out to each of us individually at Easy Allies, and therefore, our list is also a reflection of not just academic excellence, but what impacted us the most in 2024. These 12 titles delivered through excellent gameplay design, heartfelt emotions, thoughtful narratives, stunning worlds, beauty, strategy, surprise, or all of the above.
Wow, what a turn of fortune that is! Wow, strikes and gutters!
And now, the nominees for our 2024 Game of the Year. Animal Well. Nothing could have prepared us for Animal Well. What on the surface appears to be a standard Metroidvania with a retro art style turns into a rabbit hole of spiraling secrets. Make no mistake, that base exploration layer is strong on its own with out-of-the-box tools that require you to master precise timing and techniques to get the most out of them. Every direction of its map is filled with mood, mystery, and creatures that you aren't sure are friend or foe, allowing you to get fully lost in the darkness. However, once you look towards trying to reach 100% completion, the game takes on new life. Every goal leads you to something new, and the solutions to some of its deepest secrets truly break the boundaries of anything we've seen a video game do before. And yes, there are still some things left that no one has uncovered yet. Astrobot. Sony's nascent blue-eyed mascot captures our hearts and celebrates PlayStation's wonderful history once again, in one of the best platformers not to come from the House of Mario. There's no denying that Astrobot owes a lot to its predecessors, but it still manages to find ways to innovate and make its own mark, from the excellent integration of PlayStation's history that never feels like a crutch, to the unbelievable hero worlds and their fantastic recreations of beloved games like God of War and Ape Escape, to the creative new mechanics and power-ups that will leave Miyamoto and company sweating until the next 3D Mario game. Add in gorgeous visuals, joyful vibes, near-perfect controls, a terrific soundtrack, and excellent rewards for curiosity and exploration, and you can easily see why this game is something truly special. Balatro. Don't call it a card game. Behind the poker-themed exterior, Balatro is an exploration of the roguelike genre, unlike anything we've ever seen. Its hypnotic theme song, stunning pixel art, and slot machine sound effects embellish this deceptively simple game that takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. This little indie transforms a simple deck of 52 playing cards into so much more, turning the very idea of poker on its head every chance it gets. Balatro is easily the most addictive game of the year, an unput-downable feat of game design that has us saying, one more run, one more, just one more. Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2 can be an obscure experience that asks more of the player than most other RPG contemporaries. Objectives aren't always clear, fast travel can be cumbersome, and your AI companions can be unreliable. But through the rough edges comes one of the most rewarding and immersive games of the year. Combat is stunning, as climbing giant beasts like a Cyclops or Griffin feels like a gritty, unrelenting battle to the death. Optional quests further flesh out the world as a place with real stakes and consequences, and also feature unique objectives that feel especially rewarding when you figure out how to accurately proceed. Capcom trusts the player explicitly, and sometimes it's on you to reciprocate that same level of belief. They have earned it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. As big of an impact as Remake made upon its release, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth eclipses it in nearly every way and stands as one of the most ambitious RPGs ever made. It improves upon just about every facet of its predecessor, building upon an already incredible battle system and crafting an extraordinary world to explore. It unleashes countless charming minigames, especially the highly addictive Queen's Blood. It blesses us with another out-of-this-world soundtrack that somehow manages to elevate one of the most legendary efforts of its time. We're able to forge bonds with some of the most memorable characters in this medium, and the storyline crafts a fascinating scenario that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Rebirth truly is a sight to behold. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We were skeptical of Indiana Jones even late into the year, but in the end, the team at Machine Games managed to deliver one of the best licensed video games ever made. It is more authentically indie than even the most recent films, capturing the spirit and legacy that inspired so many. Troy Baker's performance is an uncanny commitment to the character, and the globe-spanning locations are full of illuminating cultural detail. In terms of gameplay, the stealthy immersive sim approach turns out to be a great fit for Indiana Jones, relying more on bashing Nazis over the head with the frying pan or plunger and donning disguises to go into enemy territory unnoticed. Discovery and puzzle solving also pay off, with the game trusting players enough to find the path forward, as well as side quests on their own. Indiana Jones is truly back in a big way. Indica. Indica burst onto the scene with a bombastic trailer filled with wild camera angles, experimental jazz, and enough mystique to fill a convent. Sometimes a trailer is much flashier than the actual game, but in this case, the trailer plays it a little safe comparatively. What we got in the full release is a fascinating character study about shame, guilt, faith, and fish. We are plunged into the icy and uncertain heart of the titular Indica as we go along with her through a crisis of faith, or perhaps an affirmation thereof. This wild and stylish adventure weaves metaphors through religious imagery and construction sites, and uses the very medium of video games itself to paint the concept of time. Stumble half-frozen through factories, churches, and the snowy tundra, and find yourself ever changed by the journey. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Another year, another incredible Like a Dragon game. The prolific series continues to outdo itself with a Game of the Year caliber adventure. Continuing from Yakuza Like a Dragon and The Man Who Erased His Name, Infinite Wealth finds the current series protagonist Ichiban teaming up with franchise legend Kazuma Kiryu for one of the most impactful stories of the year. Like a Dragon expertly navigates resonant themes with moments of levity and absurdity to draw you into a myriad of different encounters. But it's not just the narrative, as Infinite Wealth has refined the turn-based battle system with new mobility options to add much more depth and strategy. A ton of optional minigames and diversions are nothing new to the series, but the amount of quality this time around is staggering, with riffs on Crazy Taxi, Pokémon, and a full-fledged island-building activity. After thinking we've already seen the culmination of Yakuza, Infinite Wealth feels like this franchise still has a lot of mileage left. Metaphor ReFantazio. Every bit as captivating as its Persona and SMT brethren, Metaphor elevates many of the core tenets of those series to new heights, while forging a new identity with its beautiful take on the medieval fantasy genre. Headlined by an exceptional cast of characters, Metaphor embraces its stylish and profound turn-based combat to deliver one of the most engaging battle systems, rich with intricate jobs, spells, and skills. The social elements made famous by Persona also take center stage, but rather than replicate them wholesale, they're expertly woven into numerous aspects of the gameplay to further enhance this masterful RPG. Throw in an unprecedented soundtrack and dazzling art direction, and it's easy to see why Metaphor turned so many heads this year. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Prince of Persia has been inconsistent and non-existent for over a decade. Thankfully, Ubisoft decided to bring the franchise back to its roots with the exceptional Lost Crown. Navigating the intricate Metroidvania is smooth and rewarding, with mobility options that continually evolve and enhance the way you progress. Deadly traps that once seemed insurmountable become fun challenges as you and protagonist Sargon grow more comfortable and powerful. Menacing foes guard meaningful rewards as you uncover an intimate conspiracy that has potentially dire consequences, while challenging bosses have similarly heightened narrative stakes. Despite failing to meet sales expectations because you were too busy playing worse games, this should be the future template for Prince of Persia going forward. Shots fired! Woo! Spicy! Silent Hill 2: Our resident Silent Hill superfans were more than a little skeptical at the announcement that Bloober Team would be handling the long-awaited remake of Silent Hill 2. However, what we got more than exceeded our expectations, cutting our doubts to shreds with the giant rusty knife. It expertly expands on the original work without overstepping its bounds. The Silent Hill 2 remake looks good, sounds excellent, and retains the oppressive and psychologically resonant horror that this series is famous for. This is a game with intention that seeps in like a torrid fog from every pore, and despite being twice the size of the original, its impact is never dulled. Supported by faithful additions and expert performances, this is a return to Silent Hill that we will keep seeing in our restless dreams for years to come. UFO 50. UFO 50 is a collection of, you guessed it, 50 full-sized games from a fictional developer called UFO Soft. Each game in the collection is labeled with the year it released within its fiction, spanning 1982 to 1989. And while each is styled to adhere to technical limitations that may have been possible in those years, there's a modern sensibility and approachability to most of the titles. They range in genre from Metroidvania to puzzle to party planning to betting sims, where you bet on which alien will win a very compromised foot race. The collection is something for everyone, and while one game might not be your cup of tea, you may find 15 others that you can't put down. It's difficult to deny the design genius not only of the individual games, but the collection as a whole, as the meta-narrative unspools between games through info blurbs, reused assets, and unofficial mascots. UFO 50 is singular in its diversity, and truly a triumph worth the near decade of effort from this 6-person team. And the Easy Allies 2024 Game of the Year is... Balatro. Balatro could very well be a perfect game, like Tetris or chess. Its core is poker, but calling it just another card game is perilously naive. Much of what makes video games so intrinsically fun is on full display, most notably strategy and discovery. The goal is simple: to score enough points by playing a variety of poker hands that are affected dramatically by how you build your deck. Overcoming and adapting to moments of adversity is the core pillar of Balatro, ensuring there is always a different story to tell about a successful or unsuccessful run. As you continue to play, you unlock additional jokers that alter the game in incredible and unpredictable ways, as well as brand new decks that considerably change strategies. All of this is set to the backdrop of an addictive and catchy musical tune that will have you humming in your sleep. Balatro may not be the flashiest, biggest, or most emotional game released in 2024, but we can comfortably say that it effortlessly delivered the most fun and comfort. It's a legendary game that will always be there for us whenever we need to distract our brains with purposeful, strategic problem solving. Hi, we're Easy Allies. When we're not picking our favorite games of the year, we produce reviews, podcasts, streams, shows, and more, all funded by regular viewers just like you. Head to patreon.com/easyallies to pitch in and get rewards. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay connected on YouTube. See you soon.